Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Sessions. I'm here with the beautiful Kelsey Cate. She is
Hello.
a pianist here in Seattle, Washington. I've known her for a number of years and just thought it would be so much fun to have her on. And I found out today that we're going to be her first interview. So
Yes,
that's exciting.
that's right. First time. I'm usually the
That's
one asking questions.
That's true. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting to get to know you a little bit and how you came to be the amazing person that you are.
Oh, thank you.
So, start by telling us a little bit about like your music journey, like how you got into music and where it all began.
Yeah, well, music has been part of my family, and I grew up with it. My parents joke that I listened to music in the womb. It was just all, it just was there with me. And so I remember, oh, there's a clicking sound. Is that
Yeah,
my, is that me?
no, it's
Okay.
mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I grew up listening to um, a whole bunch of different kinds of music, but I've always gravitated towards soft piano. That was kind of what I grew up with. And
Yeah.
then I started branching out into improvising and doing jazz. And my sisters played cello, violin, Lily plays guitar, my brother plays guitar. We just, the whole time, we've played a lot of fun music together. And
Yeah.
it's just, there's never been a time in my life that I haven't had music.
That's so great. Where do you remember the first time that you ever like sat down to it and just like kind of fiddled and was like, yeah, this is where I feel at home?
Oh, I love that question. Huh. Well, I remember I remember going up to the piano in our house. It was an acoustic upright, and playing the keys and just like one at a time and just testing it. I remember feeling my feet swing, so
Yeah.
because I couldn't reach the pedal because I wanted to feel how it felt to hold it and then hear how it
Yeah.
sounded to hold the note down, but I couldn't reach it and I was frustrated. So I kind of scoot the bench back and then I kind of put my foot on the pedal and then play and listen. So I remember that. So I was
Yeah.
probably really little. But my parents tell me that there was this little Casio keyboard, and I happen to just have it even in my closet. I should have brought it, but it was like a 30 key little guy with preset songs
Yeah.
in it. And so I started choosing a couple of them. Slow rock was my favorite, where it's like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it'd just, be that over ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So I would actually slow the track way down, and I would, to where it was like really slow, and I would
Yeah.
turn it to electric piano sound, and I would play with it and make up my own little melody. It was probably
Oh, that's so cool.
3 or 4. So I don't really remember a lot, but I remember the feeling of playing and the feeling of making things and just experimenting, and I get that same feeling now when I compose. It never
Oh,
has changed. Yeah.
that's so great. I just appreciate like piano players. I just appreciate how much you guys can just get on and just make anything sound good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know a piano player that can't get on a piano and not make something sound beautiful and like you're like in awe every time. And I mean,
Oh,
I have the specialty of knowing you, but like or this, you know, the I feel special knowing you, but like it's just like one of those things where you just make everything sound amazing.
well, thank you. There's some cheat patterns that you can do to kind of, if you need to fall back on, you can, and I have, even in performance.
Uh,
Wait, hands, go back. I'm lost. But thank
yeah.
you. Just takes a lot of practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any instrument kind of does, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Did you in the beginning from a child to now did was practicing always kind of something that like you do every day, like it was something that kind of like almost like an obsession?
So define practice, because I remember I would listen to, gosh, I would listen to a ton of music, and I felt like because I play so much by ear, even listening is practicing, and then sitting and playing stuff, and even making a scale sound pretty. Like there's so many ways to connect with it emotionally where it's not just an exercise, but it's part of me and it brings me joy. Actually, that's how I started composing as well, was when I was practicing my classical pieces. I started classical lessons at 5. I didn't mention that, but 5 until age 16, I was in classical training and actually on a trajectory more to being, if I wanted to be, more of a classical pianist. I didn't want that. So, but in that training, I would practice my scales, arpeggios, all the things that a good pianist does when she pats her head. But then I'd mess with it and I'd play and I'd take my songs, I'd take my Beethoven, I'd take my Mozart, and I would block the chord instead of whatever it was saying to do in the left hand. And then I would pull out what the chord progression was from there and make my own music. And so my mom would yell down the stairs, Kelsey, that's not practicing. And I'd go, okay. And so then I'd go back to my rote practice. And then I'd come back later and that was my chocolate. So I practice. And then over time, I would add I would start practicing an hour or 2 hours. I was homeschooled for a while, so I did sometimes 3 or 4. And I really got into deeply loving classical practice. And for a time, I thought I didn't want to do that and then changed my mind. But because my hands, I started having a lot of pain and tension with my hands. But
is that common?
Yeah.
With your hands, is that common?
Well, I have a propensity, just because it's in my dad's side of the family, to have joint issues. But it also can be corrected with proper training and also working out your arms and your neck and your upper back muscles. So there's ways to do that. So and I love massages.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Do you growing up, was it kind of you and your because your sister plays as well, right? Or is she just a singer?
Yeah, so there's 3 of us girls and then my brother, and Courtney and I are 16 months apart, and she plays violin, started on piano just like me, and then our piano teacher just happened to also teach violin. Yeah, so we would start doing stuff together, and then Kaylee, my other sister, who's just a couple of years younger than that, played cello. And so sometimes my maiden name was Keo, we'd be the Keo Trio.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
So it was fun.
Yeah. It was it always something that you guys like would do like in your spare time? Was it kind of like something you do for fun? Or
well, so on the weekends as well, yes, is the quick answer. We also played in church, and that's another area where I really learned to improvise and to play by chords, and also to connect really closely chords with the melody. And so I would practice with my sisters, and we would just hang out at the house, like Saturday morning breakfast. Mom's making pancakes in the kitchen, and we're sitting, and we did it more when we were younger, and then we got busy when we were in junior high and high school. But we still love to get together.
Do.
What's that?
As teenagers do.
Yeah, as they do. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. I think it's so cool that your whole family does it. Like, it's just a really awesome thing to be able to share that with everybody and have a passion for it. You know, it's not just like playing together. It's like really having a passion for each of the instruments and each other and respect for each other as musicians.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool too. There's times where like Haley and I will be sitting there and I'm playing, and we have sometimes I'll even tell them, I actually drove them crazy growing up, because sometimes I'd say, well, let's just play. And they liked music. And then we started exploring where we would just improvise together and not really know what the plan was, but we're going to be in the key of T. And then we're going to go from C to A. So it's just, the one chord. So just a little progression. That's maybe all that we had. And then after we would get that momentum, I just start letting her solo and she'd start playing. And then we almost could we'd sync up and we'd know where the other person was heading. So we were
Yeah,
able to kind of, without actually saying anything, follow where we were going. And so we still
that's
do
so
that, and it's very fun.
yeah, that's so amazing. Wow. To even have that like that's like intuition about it, right? And to know where you
Mm-hmm.
guys are going to be in the next
Yeah.
moment. I mean, that's awesome. And that kind of shows that you've been playing together, right? You kind of know how you guys play and how how the other person is as a musician as well, and their
Yeah.
strengths. And so that's really cool that
Yeah.
you guys could play off of each other. I
It's fun.
agree.
And they played in my wedding, both of them. It was very
Oh,
special. And they
yeah.
also, I forgot about this. I recorded a version of John Legend's All of Me as a
Yeah.
surprise for my husband for our first dance. And I asked
Yeah.
Kaylee and Courtney if they would play and record this with me. And so they did.
Yeah.
And then it was really fun. Very special.
Wow.
Yeah.
How special for him. Like
It was.
to have like a musician wife who could do something like that.
He's very creative too. It's awesome. He's
That's
kind
so
of both
cool.
sides of the brain. I'm mostly
Yeah.
creative.
I sit on that side too if it makes you feel any better.
We have
So
all the
what
fun.
yeah, I mean we do. I feel like we have more fun than everybody else.
Yes.
So what is growing up, what was the person or who influenced you, or who was somebody that you really looked up to in growing up in this genre?
Well, I mean, there's one person that you and I both know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm imagining you're picturing the same person, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you who haven't heard of him, his name is Michael Gettle, and he's a pianist that is based now in Colorado. He used to be here in the Pacific Northwest, and I grew up listening to a ton of his music. Actually, he informed a lot of how I play, and I sometimes say he taught me how to improvise because I listened so much. There is, in fact, one album where I remember as a fourth grader, because that was the year I was homeschooled, I remember laying on my tummy, getting as close as I possibly could to the speaker and listening to the sounds to see if I could, how close I could get to the music. And he taught me to listen as well. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
was
and then
fortunate
because
enough to go see him play. Kelsey brought me to go see him play, and I got to meet him, and he's phenomenal. Like just an amazing pianist. I appreciate the piano, and I wish so very much I could play it because it's such a beautiful instrument, um, and can tell so many stories with just like one note almost. And Kelsey just brought me to be able to see him play, and it was the most amazing experience, I have to say. Like I was just sitting there in awe, just like I can't believe I'm here.
that's so cool. It was a
And
cool setting
sharing that
too.
moment with you.
I'm so glad you're able to come. Special.
Yeah. And just being able to see how he just adores you. Like it's really cool to just be a part of your little circle of people that just really um admire you for who you are, and your musicianship too. It's really cool to be a
Thank
part
you.
of that.
Thank you. Well, and I wanted to say too, as I was looking at the local music scene and what you're doing, it's really cool to see how you celebrate people. And I was watching Lizzie
Yeah.
Cates, right?
Kelsey Cate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recently. Uh-huh. I connect with her last name. Yep.
Yeah.
She's got an S for Kate, but you know. And I enjoyed how you bring out the story, and you are such a proponent of people. So thank you for doing this. It's really hard right now this time for artists to find people sometimes. It's pretty easy to be in our own little box, little bubble, but you're helping us to get out.
I try, man. I try to bring everybody out, and when it started, it was a lot harder because it was so many people were just desperate to want to play, and so I just kind of opened myself up for like 5 months for everybody every single day to do it, and then this month I decided, I just wanted to cut back a little, And now that everybody can kind of in some states can play, so I cut back a little bit, but I still love doing it. I mean, this has been such a project over. It's going to be a year old next week, which is
Oh my
crazy to think
goodness.
about. I know,
Happy
right?
almost birthday.
I know. So, it's just exciting, but I just, you're right. I just like love, it all started because I just love celebrating people, like musicians, and I loved people's music so much. I was like, there has to be a way to share it. Like they're
Amazing.
local, they're not well known, or even if they are kind of well known, I just feel like it was just a way for me to be able to kind of give back to the community of everybody that I just love.
So
Yeah.
amazing.
So I'm glad you get to be a part. We call it the LMS family. So I'm glad you
Okay.
get to be a part of it.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Well, we have a couple people on, so why don't you go ahead and sing? Or sorry, play. That's what I always say.
Sure.
Or you can sing and play, because I know you know how to sing too, girl.
Well, the difficulty with sound is I don't know how well the balance would go.
Yeah.
So maybe
No, you can play.
just
You can
piano.
play the piano. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's all good. What would you like me to play?
Oh, can I request one off of your album?
Yes.
My favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Aslan's. That's my favorite song, like, ever.
Okay. I would love to play that. Okay. You gotta know, by the way, that requesting a song like this is like, it's like, for some people, songs are kind of like kids. So that makes me feel really loved if you love this music. Thank you.
Yeah. I love your album. Are you kidding?
Thank you. Well, here is On Aslan's Breath.
Yay!
Thank you. Grazie.
I just kind of want to kind of touch on your album a little bit, and the what a process that was for you to kind of make the decision to put your music and your being a composer and putting that out there. Was that kind of an easy decision to do that, or were there any reservations? Or
Oh my goodness, what a question. Well, okay, so I've made many CDs in my life, Kara,
yeah,
but I was never proud of it. I never felt like it was ready. And I think
yeah,
that's actually, it's very closely related to my journey of growth, honestly, of, of learning to be more okay and centered in who I am, not comparing my works to anybody else, not thinking, oh,
yeah,
it could be better this way, it could be better that way. So I met a group of amazing musicians a couple of years ago, and they're called Whisperings Piano Radio. Or yeah, there's a whole, but there's now hundreds of artists that are involved. And watching and seeing how they promoted their own music and pulled their songs together to make an album, I thought, okay, maybe it's time to actually do that. And so I started working on some of these songs that I have had since I was maybe in elementary school that I'd written, and then up through. And I started maturing these songs and working on them. And I had input from some people from Whisperings. Lewis Landon, shout out. Actually, he was really helpful, and he sat down and he gave me some notes with every single song, saying, "Kid, this is great here, but you got to consider this. Where's your hook, or where's your melody here? You're really
yeah,
missing that." And so it helped me to grow and to figure out better how to songwrite, how to compose, and then finally building up the, okay, this is what the song is going to be known as. This is the title. This is the melody. I'm locking it in. No going back. I am
yeah,
going to be presenting this. These are my musical children. Here you are, world.
yeah.
So I finally actually released it, and my husband did all the artwork. My brother shot the photos. It was amazing. It was so cool.
Wow.
And it was officially released in January this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, friend. Like I have the pleasure of like being able to hear you pretty often, but like man, I was so proud of you in that moment. I was like,
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
finally she let people hear.
Thank
I
you.
know that you play live, but you know, it's one of those things where I just felt like that was you just kind of coming to your own and really honing in on the fact that this is who you are, you know,
Wow,
and
thank you.
sharing that with the world.
That means so much, really. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a beautiful album, friend. I truly am very proud of you.
Thank you. Well, and the meaning of it, the title is Polema, and in the Greek, it parallels the meaning in English. We don't actually have one word that encompasses this, but it's essentially it's work of art. But my intent behind it is to celebrate how each of us are a unique work of art. That inside of this art piece is such value, such unique gifting, skills, call, purpose. And so my heart with this is really to be a mirror, that I hold it up to everybody and say, this is, I want you to walk away. If we were to have a concert where I was performing these pieces, I wouldn't want anyone to say, I wish I could play like her. I would want them to say, huh, what am I gifted to do? What can I do? So
Yeah.
that's the purpose of that, the title, and wanting to have that mirror. To
Yeah.
celebrate us, to celebrate you, girl.
Yeah. Thank you. I think it's I never knew the meaning behind it. And I think it's really great because it's actually a testament to who you are as a person too. You do that in your own life with people that you meet and encounter. And I think that's really cool that you translate that into your music and into your album. And just
Thank you.
you're so fluid with who you are as a person and what you bring to the world. It's so cool to see, man. Like I just it's so awesome to know somebody that can just have a positive impact on people. It really is.
Wow. Thank you. That means a lot.
So I wanted to kind of go over your like process and how you actually compose your music, and
Ah,
I'm curious in how you do it, and what you think and what comes, like, you can't, it's not like the lyrics come first and the music, it's not that kind of thing. And so I just wonder,
ah.
like, how you do that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a secret. Actually, two of the songs on the album do have lyrics. They do.
Well, there is two, yeah, but I mean, most
No,
of the
no, no.
time.
So what I mean is, there's in the album there's only solo piano, but they're
Yeah,
technically, and I've sung it for my family and maybe some friends, but no one else has heard the lyrics before.
yeah.
And so
But you've told me,
those,
though. You told me there was.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So I know that, but but because I know the whole album is only piano, I was like,
Mhm.
I didn't want to bring up the whole lyric thing because I know that there isn't. I didn't want to, like, confuse people.
Right, right,
So,
right, right, right. Yeah.
but yeah,
So the secret with that though is because, and I'll tie it back to learning how to play along with the melody for worship and playing chords with it. I started learning how to accompany my melodies, and so
mm,
some of the songs, like those two that are in the album that have lyrics, "With You" and "Transitions" are those two that
mm,
technically do.
yeah,
Um, those two I treated, at least at first, as more of, okay, how do I accompany my melody and make sure I
yeah,
keep it there? And some other songs literally were just, I was learning a piece and I stumbled upon gold. Like there's a treasure hidden in the sand. I stepped
yeah,
on it and went, ooh, there's something there. And so I uncovered it. I took time to listen. I compare music a lot to food, so I was tasting it for a while. I was adding
yeah.
different seasonings. How can
Right.
I repackage this or try this, or what if I make it in a minor key? And so a lot of it was experimentation. And then um, sometimes I write down chords, but most of it is just by memory. And then I use my
Wow.
phone a lot, voice memos. So
Gosh.
mostly by ear. Hmm.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you don't write it down at all? You can just
No,
remember it?
I should though. I really, really should. And that's my next step is learning how
Yeah.
to transcribe better. I'm not very good at
Yeah.
that. I'm slow.
Yeah. That's so amazing. How you could just keep that all in your head. Like, for songwriting, for me, I have to write it down or I just, like, get lost and I forget. Like,
Hmm.
that's impressive that you could do that.
Well, thank you, but it's also confusing because I might have 5 ways to play a song, which made it
Yeah.
really tough when it came time to record. And then that was the
Oh,
committal thing of, okay, so now this is going to be my version. So in some
yeah.
ways, it's easier if you write it down because you decide ahead of time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. You know what you're going to do.
right. So there is freedom of playing by ear, but there's also the learning how to capture. And so that's what I'm working on right
Yeah.
now, is
Yeah.
exercising those muscles.
Right. What is your favorite part about playing live? Like, I know you play at the Bellevue Mall and and do a couple of private things, but what is your favorite part about it? Like, where's that love come from?
Hmm. These are such good questions. Um,
I've had a little bit of practice.
yeah, yeah. Really, I just see music as a bridge. It's a way to connect with people.
Yeah.
Whether it's one person at the piano, or a couple thousand, it doesn't matter. It's a heart connection where I'm actually,
Yeah.
there's meaning that I'm communicating. Um, and I'm learning that there's a whole new dimension of doing this where it's on live stream and I can still feel someone's heart through a comment. And that's really interesting and cool and
Yeah.
something new. But to be able to have it be a bridge, and sometimes at the Bellevue Mall, for example, there'd be a total stranger that comes up to the
Yeah.
piano, says, Kelsey, you just played Autumn Leaves. That was my grandmother's favorite, and she just passed away, and thank you for that sweet memory, or whatever. Where all of a sudden a stranger becomes a friend and we can
Yeah.
connect. She finds me on Instagram or Facebook. We stay connected, and then we share lives together. It's just amazing what music can do.
Yeah,
To
it's translucent. I've always said that it's translucent and it has no boundaries. It sees beyond or goes beyond, language and barriers and
yes,
anything, and is rooted usually in love and And with that comes just being able to connect to everybody, and
Okay.
I think really that's actually kind of what I think your gift is you can just make anybody connect to it no matter what you're playing, and
Wow.
I think that's a real gift and a real talent. Like I think that's where I just get lost in your album, because I could just connect to every single one. I mean, Aslan is my favorite song, I think, because I connect more to that one for some reason. But like, I think I've had a couple of people listen to your album and they all say the same thing. Like, it's just really, you could just connect immediately.
Wow. That is so cool to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I feel like I've told you that. Have I not told you that?
No, that's really neat.
Oh.
I love hearing that.
Yeah. But I think you should play one more, because we're almost to that point where you're gonna hop off and go do your own thing. So I want to
okay.
we have a little bit of time, but I want to make sure you get to play something else too. Does anybody that's watching? There's a couple of people watching. Does anybody have any like suggestions or anything that you want her to play? You can request if you want. I can see the comments. You had one comment. I'll show up here that you can see. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see Leah. That's my sister-in-law. Hi, Leah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Sure.
So she when you were playing, she did that.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah, I mean, while we maybe wait for somebody if they want to request something, but what is your favorite like cover to play?
Ooh. Depends on my mood. Lately, it has been Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts. And the reason for that is because there is another pianist named Stephen C., who growing up I listened to his album called Summertime Songs. Yeah. And every single song on this album had night song sounds or different nature sounds with it. And there's water, ocean, loons, owls, whatever. And he did an awesome bomb.com version of this. And I had no idea who it was. All of these different, my dad coming out and
I was like, that's so not our generation.
It's cheesy, I know. But I listened to all of these amazing arrangements of pieces that now I know it's Reverie, Summertime, Gershwin. He had all these. So Seals and Crofts, it's just such a beautiful piece the way he did it, and it reminds me of reading as a kid with an apple in summertime and just loving life.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
do you want me to play that one?
Just play that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
An oldie.
Yeah, oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So you had a couple of requests while you were playing. So one is from Sharon. She wanted to play. I could never. I don't know if is it Charis or Karis. Karis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karis.
I always. It's always a 50-50 chance.
Sure.
And then Nancy asked for "Faithful as the Tide."
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to play those right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, and then comes back up. And then I'll ask you a couple of the questions, and then we'll go. So you have about 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, in that case, do you want me to choose one?
Yeah, actually, yeah, probably because we only have only 10 minutes left. Yeah, so
well, which one would you like to
prefer?
Hear?
I mean,
choose.
That's hard. How about Karis? Because I really like that one.
Sounds good.
Since we
and
played
I wrote this one. Okay, sounds good.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
So, when we come to the end of our interviews, I always like to ask somebody a funny question. Okay.
Okay.
To end it on a fun note. So, I think that what I thought would be fun for yours is if you, since it's quarantine, if you were stranded in quarantine in, let's say, your house, right? Couldn't leave ever, which we almost kind of were there, but
Yeah,
you you could only have 3 things and 1 person with you. I kind of feel like I know the 1 person, but what would be your 3 things?
Okay. Whipping cream, number one. I'd have to have an endless supply of whipping cream because life is too short, you know?
Right?
Well, it's a close tie with Nutella because Nutella is also fabulous. So
Yeah.
right now I'm in the mood for whipping cream. So whipping cream, 3 things.
Things, yeah. Could be
And
anything.
I asked for a genie bottle because then you can ask for more wishes.
That's cheating.
I don't know. Well, okay. Climate, if I'm not worried about anything else, like an acoustic piano.
Uh-huh.
And if I can choose anything, a 9-foot Bosendorfer, I'll take one of those.
Yeah. Money's not an object. You could have anything.
Sweet. Okay. And my voice memo recorder, so I can record what I play. How's that?
There you go.
Whipping
That's
cream,
perfect.
piano, and voice recorder.
The whipping cream I was not expecting, I gotta say. I was thinking you would be like, I knew it was gonna be a piano for sure. Like piano and phone at least.
Well, okay, I'm gonna amend this because whipping cream does run out. But actually, if it was only 3 items, I'd replace the whipping cream with the Bible because there's no way that I would be able to survive the rest of my life without that. That would be the 3rd.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll give it to you and you can have an endless amount of food. And that way you can have the whipping cream as much as you want.
Thank you.
And the Nutella. That way you don't have to choose.
So generous.
I am here for you, my friend.
I love it. Food is a love language. Absolutely.
For sure it is. Well, we only have a couple of minutes. I want to just really thank you so much for coming on and sharing your gift with all of us and just being the amazing person that you are. I just love you so much. And I think that you have such a gift for music and sharing that gift and love with everybody. And I just want to thank you for being willing to come on to my show and share it with my audience.
Thank you so much, Kara. And if I may, can I share the story behind Karis?
Sure, yeah.
I'm feeling really that's on my heart to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So music has a lot of meaning, and it can be a bridge to people. I remember when I first learned about my cousin's baby that was on the way, I sat down and I started just kind of playing this sweet little melody like a kid, a little baby. And it was just already kind of in me, and I was kind of making something. But then I really felt like there was this call in my heart to celebrate life. I think Karis is probably one of the songs on the album, and maybe one of the songs that will be holding this much meaning to celebrate. And the sanctity of it, the beauty of it, the messiness of it, the power of celebrating life. And Karis means grace, and it is such an important song. So if your viewing audience just types that in and searches what the meaning is, they'll be able to look more into what that means. But it's just really on my heart to share that. And we now more than ever need to share and celebrate the meaning of life together.
Yeah,
be able to have
for sure.
Understanding. And thank you so much, Kara, for sharing your life with me and for the honor of having me on your show. And I know we could talk for hours. There's always things that we could chat about.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful that you invited me. Thank you for having me here.
Of course. I've been waiting to share you with everybody.
So sweet.
Well, make sure you check her out after this. She's going to play on her own Facebook, so be sure to check her out. Follow her on all of the socials, and we love you, friend.
Thank you. I love you too. And I'm starting to actually release each week a long form YouTube video. And today was the first day of doing that. where I released a video that's 2 hours long, and it's just for focus and concentration. And so I'm going to keep doing those kinds of videos. So they're welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and so they can stay connected and hearing that.
Awesome. Yeah. Be sure to follow her on there too. I got to watch that one actually. It was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Thank you for watching. It was fun to make.
Yeah. Well, I love you, and I hope everybody had fun getting to know my friend, and just a beautiful soul that I am honored to know and share with everybody. So be sure to follow her. Be sure to get her album because it is phenomenal. And I promise we'll have her back at some point.
That'd be great. I love it. Thank you so much, Kara.
Go ahead and go if you are on here, go to her Facebook page and check her out. She'll be on from 9 to 5 on her own Facebook, and check her out every Thursday. She plays from 7 to 8 and then 9 to 10, and it's just I encourage you all to listen to her. So
thank you, girl. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Night.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.